Hey, this is Alec. Welcome to White Whale Comics. So today I am here in support of my buddy ComicBooksNYC. He's running a contest right now, and his link will be in the description below. You should definitely check him out. He has an awesome collection of not only comics but original art. He has a lot of great insight into collecting, and he's just a cool dude. So check him out and enter his contest because he's giving away some choice books. He's got 4 or 5 sets of just like top-notch, like some graded Bronze Age and Adam Hughes, and go check out his video so you can see them all. It's very generous of him. And he deserves a lot more subs because he puts out great content. So I encourage you to go watch his videos. His request for the contest entry was to tell a story about comic books or around an experience involving comic books. And I want to talk about the first time I met an artist named Scott Wegner, who did a comic book called Atomic Robo, which you can see back here. This is his cover of it. This is the A cover by Michael Avon Oeming, who is also a great artist and a cool dude who I've met a couple times. I have 2 different signed and remarked copies of that. So when I first met him, it was at Pittsburgh Comic Con, probably 2008? 7. And that con is, at least used to be, I have not been in quite a number of years, used to be a really fun con. And they would have a lot of cool events, and one thing they did was a lot of stuff for charity. And they would have this charity event where a panel of artists would just sit up with big, poster size pieces of paper, and people in the audience would just shout out stuff that they'd want them to draw, and they'd sketch it quick, and then you buy raffle tickets and you could win. They pull your name and you get the piece that they're raffling off. And people were just yelling out like, "Oh, draw Power Girl, draw this, draw Spider-Man." And my wife and I, or girlfriend at the time, were just yelling out ridiculous things like, "Draw Stalin," and "Draw Sasquatch fighting the Power Rangers." And he was the only one who was entertaining our ideas, and not only entertaining them, but being entertained by them. You could see every time we'd say something, he'd just like smile and nod and start drawing. Here's Stalin, and here's the Power Rangers fighting Sasquatch, and here's Ghost Rider Moses. I don't even remember requesting that one, but apparently we did. We unfortunately did not win any of those pieces in the raffle, so I just have those crummy photos with my 2007 camera for them. But we went to his table like immediately after, and we were like, "Thanks so much, that was so much fun." And he was like, "Oh, thank you, like, people never like request fun things to draw. I like drawing fun things." So his comic actually wasn't even out at the time. He was just there to pre-promote it. And it was the first comic by Red 5, so the company didn't even really exist yet. So he was just kind of there on his own accord in Artist Alley. So we got a sketch from him, and we're like, okay, well, there's something we've always wanted to get a sketch of, which is a dinosaur fighting a Viking. Can you do that? And he's just like, "Absolutely, yes, I'm sick of drawing Spider-Man. Like, that's what I want to draw. You nailed it." So here is the piece that he drew, and it's super fun. And we talked to him for a while about a bunch of weird stuff, like how we both draw Sasquatch with little peens, because why wouldn't Sasquatch have a little peen? And he actually drew that inside of a sketchbook, and said Sasquatch has junk. I know, weird. And we talked about how we both, refer to babies as like squids or urchins or things like that. And he's like, oh yeah, when my wife was pregnant, we just called it the squid. And we just had like a fun chat, and we weren't holding anyone up in line or anything like that, because it's not like meeting Brian Michael Bendis or something. Not to take anything away from Scott Wegner. I think he's a great artist and obviously a really fun dude, but at the time no one knew who he was, and probably a lot of people still don't know who he is, which is a shame, because I think he's a very good artist. And so the next time we saw him, we got another sketch from him, which was Atomic Robo fighting a giant squid, which is here. And when he finished it, we were like, oh, you could go either way depending on your mood, if you're optimistic or pessimistic. So he signed it in both directions, which I thought was very fun. So yeah, he was a delight to talk to every time we saw him at a con. And I guess my point of the story is, and a little bit selfishly, because I was once an Artist Alley artist, that I think a lot of those artists get overlooked at cons, and I have been guilty of this as well, just kind of breezing by tables. And part of that is like an awkwardness of like, you feel badly about like looking at their stuff and not buying anything, at least for me. And it's awesomely fun to meet like a Donny Cates or Brian Michael Bendis or a George Perez, or some huge mega artist or mega writer. But it's also really cool to meet artists who maybe you don't expect to connect with, or find something cool that they've done, or just get a fun sketch that maybe is not going to be worth a lot of money, because you're not going to CGC it and have this Adam Hughes sketch cover, but you get a dinosaur fighting a Viking, and it's really cool, and it's important to you. So yeah, that's my story about meeting Scott Wegner and why independent artists can be really cool. I have met some who've been real dicks too, so I'm not saying they're all great. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Sub up ComicBooksNYC. Support local artists and independent artists, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Never turn your back to the ocean.